Arthur Fantastic here. Today we're going to talk about the justification for violence, biblically, and how broken the system is. Now, obviously I've talked about the black pill of the system multiple times on BitChute here. I've talked about why Torah matters in the past, almost every video, but now I'm going to make it a deliberate series explaining how a lot of today's problems can be solved by simply reading simply reading the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible, and holding those standards true today. Now, in the last iteration, I talked about slavery in the Bible. We found out that slavery isn't really in the Bible and is in fact forced slavery is literally outlawed in Exodus among his many commandments that he puts forth after just the first 10. The 10 Commandments, aka the Decalogue. Now, the reason why I'm making this video today, here I'm leaning on the Bible literally, is because of this pervasive, overarching idea that is being propagated in the mainstream church of Christianity today. And that is this non-violence shit. That, war is never good and it's become really hippy-dippy and, it's all about loves and loves is all about hugs and kisses. I have tackled this subject many times, talking about how love isn't all hugs and kisses and what a lot of Christians today kind of conflate with what sounds right, which is with what is actually right. Just because something sounds right doesn't mean it's actually right. And that there is a particular standard that was given to us by God that maybe many of you unknowingly do not even realize that you follow. All the basic ideas and principles and statutes that are what we enforce today as a society are based on the ones that are in the Holy Bible. And in fact, all the founding fathers were very well read in the Bible because the whole point of literacy was so that every man could read the Bible for himself or herself. And I don't know where this non-violent, this we have to be complete cucked loser bitches that let people rape and kill us and then fucking, I don't know where it really comes from. Where I personally have kind of connected it to and kind of ran down this this doctrine is the speech that Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, Yahushua is his real name. Jesus Christ is the Greek rendering, Jesus, okay, which is now Jesus, but his name is Yahshua or Yahushua or Yahusha or Yeshua, which is exactly the same name as Joshua in the Old Testament. They share the same name, and all biblical scholars agree, but for some reason that is what it's rendered in the Greek. Why? I don't know, but he was a Hebrew with probably a Hebrew name. He was a Judean, okay? So, so let's pause and think about what we've gotten so far. We know from previous videos that for sure, love isn't just all hugs and kisses. Love is doing what's right. We know from the previous video of Torah Matters that there's a lot of misreading, spells that are cast on us because of translation, because we think that we conceptually know what they are talking about, and we have an ignorance of context, and we have been inculcated in a lot of ways. And we know that Yahushua himself was a man that followed the Torah, top to bottom, without fail, because sin, as defined in John, 1 John 3:4, sin is transgression of the law. Not the law of man, the law of God. So, pause. So Yahushua, Jesus Christ, talks about eye for an eye. Right? We can track a lot of this argument to, oh, eye for an eye's over. Even though the Bible, the Torah itself, says in Deuteronomy 4 and Deuteronomy 12 to not add or subtract from it. So any prophet that is trying to add or subtract from it is a false prophet. Jesus says, it is said, highlight, said. It is said. Not it is written, didn't Moses say? What he's referring to is the Pharisaical man-made tradition of abusing and manipulating this eye for an eye system to become what it was meant to be, which is a system of reconciliation. Jesus is saying if someone asks you to run a mile, you run 2 miles. And so on and so forth. The entire idea of eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, is financial restitution for the replacement of an injury or a animal that's been taken, or etc., etc. There was never in any case a person was, oh, for your life they got to take your life. No, because they would just been already killed for murder. It's accidents and things like this. There's a just way. We have a just God. We don't have to come up with our own fucking statutes and laws. God has already given it to us. And so if someone causes injury, we have to have a financial restitution. You know, people need to provide for their families. You fucking dig a hole, you don't fill it up, and someone's oxen falls in and dies, you have to replace that oxen. But what Jesus, who is God in the flesh, says is, if someone does this, you do this and you go beyond. You go above and beyond to reconcile with your brother. That's what it's talking about. Because our God is a God of forgiveness, reconciliation, understanding, justness, fairness. We see the reconciliation of Joseph with his brothers. We see the reconciliation of the numerous characters of forgiveness. The reconciliation with Job and God. The reconciliation of the, once again, just punishment that God gives when David fucks a man's wife, and then kills her husband by sending him to the front line on purpose. God takes their firstborn away. But the reconciliation God, the sorry that he go through, the punishment, understanding, that same woman led to the line that led to Jesus Christ. God is a God of forgiveness and understanding. God is a God that he tests us. Sure, he's tested Abraham. He tested all of us. But that doesn't mean he wants the best for us. We admit that we need to go through tests at school. We admit that certain objects that we create need to go through testing standards. Why wouldn't God want to test us too? Why wouldn't a fucking adversary, as denoted in the Bible, why wouldn't he want to make us tempted to do against our Father, which is his enemy? It's as if this entire theology is contained in itself, and people need to just come back and read and understand. So now I'm going to go through this, after establishing that what I believe to be the main argument that is ignoring the violent assertion part of our religion is this one passage which is misunderstood, because there's constant setting themselves apart, that is the believers in Messiah in the first century, separating them from the Pharisaical movement. There is no passage in this Bible that tells you, oh, you have to clean your hands and say this particular prayer before you fucking eat. But the Pharisees did in their Talmud. And that's what Jesus was fighting against. A lot of people think he was fighting against the Torah. Yikes. Kind of crazy. There's millions of videos on this type of thing and this type of apologetics. Look up Hebrew roots. But today we're going to be talking about the justification for violence, because I think that is missing in the community. Everyone is still using this hippy dippy, like, we're a fucking cucked bitch society that doesn't protect itself. Okay? That's not what we're meant to be. We're meant to be warriors. We're meant to be brave, fearless. Okay? Yahuwah, God, is a man of war, and Yahuwah is his name. Lord is his name. Whatever edition you read. Today we're going to be reading from the Et Sefer. It's obviously backwards on my front-facing camera. And we're going to be looking at some of the passages all throughout the Bible that point to violence being a righteous and just act when done according to the ways of Yahuwah, God, the Lord, our Father. Okay? But violence for the sake of violence, just lashing out, that's not God. God is not this petty, fucking childish person. People will try to make you think that. People will try to make you think that that's what this is written in here, but they'll never read it to you and you'll never read it by yourself. But that's not what, everything he does is just and right. And if you put down your sensibilities of modern sense of like life and then try to see the rhyme to the reason, you know what I mean? The method, because there's no method to your chaos. Maybe there's one here in the Bible and you should try to check it out. So we're going to start with that. We're going to start with Exodus. Okay? Exodus 15:3. Let's look at it here. 15:3. Okay? Moshe, or Moses. Moshe is his actual name. For those who are reading, English rendered, his actual name is Moshe. But you can call him Moses. We know what we're talking about. But I'll be reading it in this. It says Moshe. So Moshe singing a song about Israel and how Yahuwah is like this triumphant God, and he's like fucking knocked the Egyptians out with a pillar of fire. They just literally saw it, and he's singing it in this like good word way, and he's praising Yah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. What do you think that word means? What do you think Yah is? Okay, I'm sorry. Bet in Yahoo. Jeremiah. Jeremiah. What do these names mean? Like, we don't even know the name of our God. We call him Lord. Yahuwah is a man of war. Yahuwah is his name. That's Exodus 15:3. It's not out of context. It's not saying something that's like equivalent to war. He's talking about war. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts were cast into the sea. His chosen captains are also drowned in the Red Sea. And he's singing this. And this is a triumphant thing. God likes it. God, it is truth. Okay? That's what is described as the Torah, the truth, the light and the way. As in like Yahushua, the light, the way, the truth. Okay? Very interesting. Very interesting. So, obviously, we may have the wrong idea of Yahuwah, right? Now, we're going to go back here, and we're going to jump forward to Deuteronomy, okay? Because there is this, like, crazy talk of numbers. Oh, my gosh, dude. Okay. There is a lot of talk of, if somebody rapes somebody and like kills my children, I need to forgive them. Like, yeah, you forgive them, but that doesn't take away from them needing to see justice. Rapists are murdered. We kill them. We stone them to death. Let's look at the passage of where this is actually a thing. Oh, found it. All right, it's actually Deuteronomy 22:25. Now, we are talking about what is justice and righteous. We all know that rapists, if there is witnesses and we know that it happened and someone cried out and it's called, we know that that person should be put to fucking death, right? We agree on that. Same thing with murderers, child rapists. $25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel you shall do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and slay him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Okay? Now, there are some misunderstandings. Once again, just like when we were talking about slavery, where people will read this passage and they'll say the next passage, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. This is restitution for the woman not being in that household anymore to give physical labor, as, you know, that was, until you're married, you're basically under the covering of your family, and you're expected to do your responsibilities, unlike this modern era time. And she shall be his woman, because he has humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. Now notice that the qualifier here for stoning the man force her. That is deliberate wording. And here in 28, talking about the virgin and not being betrothed and lay hold on her, anytime this concept of laying hold on someone is seductive reasoning, you are taken in by an idea and it lay hold on you like a spirit or an idea. Okay, I'm not saying the spirit and ideas are the same thing, but what I'm trying to say is not unlike the Greeks who use the word daemon as in some kind of spirit behind the... I'm saying that certain ideas which are not good are as if they are a demonic attack on you. So if you can't just read the fucking words here, let me read it to you. And then before that, let's talk about cheating, okay? We all know that cheating is bad, right? Unless you've been cucking yourself so long watching porn. Okay. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a man, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shall you put away evil from Yasharel. Okay? Found lying with one another. Not being found forcing to be fucked. Not found... Do you understand that the words mean something? Next one. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a man, and find her, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, okay, find her and lie with her, once again lying, not forcing her, then ye shall bring at both of them out unto the gate of the city, at that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. At the damsel, because she cried not, because obviously they were lying with one another, not he forced her. Because being in the city where there are people all the fuck around, there aren't fucking, especially at that time, there weren't like all these sounds of the city and shit like that. You could fucking hear. I mean, even in the city now, you could fucking, if someone cries out, you'll fucking hear them. You know what I mean? But now we live in a Babylonian society where we just mind our own business. Yeah, that's really working out. And at the man, because he has humbled his neighbor's wife, so you shall put that evil away from you. Duh. Enforce what you fucking know. You kill rapists. People who fucking break the bond and duty of marriage. Well, sorry. You take that up to the elders. The elders might come up with some other solution. Because ultimately you take them out to the gates and talk to the elders about it. But the prescribed action is stoning them to fucking death. Exile obviously is another solution. Because people, when Moshe, and he didn't enter the promised land, he stayed, and he actually created extra cities that if somebody did something, they could run there. They murdered his neighbor, but he wasn't doing it for people to fucking go cheat on their husbands and wives and then run there. But I'm sure that is what ended up happening in some case. Because they know what the fucking punishment if someone finds out is. Okay, so going back to what I was trying to quote earlier, which I may probably have fucking cut out, is Deuteronomy 12:29. When Yahuwah Eloheka cut you off, Deuteronomy 12:29. When Yahuwah Eloheka shall cut off at the nations from before you, whither you go to possess them, and you succeed them and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you not be snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before you, and that you inquire not after their Elohim, saying, how did these nations serve at their Elohim? Even so will I do likewise. You shall not do so unto Yahuwah Eloheka, or the Lord your God. For every abomination to Yahuwah, which he hates, have they done unto their Elohim, gods. For even at their sons and at their daughters, they have burnt in the fire to their Elohim. And if I may add, to their Elohim's sake. You know what I mean? That's what they wanted. If you don't understand what they're trying to say, at what thing soever I command you, guard to do it. You shall not add to thereto, nor diminish therefrom. Do not add, do not subtract. I would like to take this time to make an aside and have an anecdote of a recent interaction with a heathen, a pagan, a literal person who upholds the old gods. I mean, I would challenge that he doesn't actually do that, for that would require making human sacrifices in every one of these pagan beliefs, from Mayans to Norse to Greek to Roman to Babylon and Egypt. You made human sacrifices. I don't think you're making human sacrifices, and that you're actually basing most of your beliefs on the foundation, the Bible, the Torah, the law, of which all the founding fathers know. And you are just living on that assumption that all those things are, of course. But it's not, of course. Because other places, they fucking butcher live animals while they're still alive. They allow the kidnapping of women for marriage. They circumcise women's clitoris. Okay, that's not what it says in the Bible. It says men get circumcised. You're adult men. Okay, and if your child is born and you get them on the 8th day, regardless, there's no female circumcision in the Bible. So there's piracy, all this crazy shit, slavery, as I've mentioned in the previous video about slavery. It's all out there, guys. And to think that you can just assume that, because some people took these paganist ideas and became this neo-paganist Christian hybrid, that the actual belief has changed. No, it doesn't. Their words have not changed. The words are the same. Even if you get a shitty version, the words are there. Okay? And you can fucking say that this, that, the other thing, and say these doctrines that are not in the Bible to make you thinking this, but there's really one context, it's Hebrew, and there's one word, and it's right here, and it all comes down to believing in the Torah, which even the the fathers of the church, Ignatius, Polycarp, Clement of Rome, were upholding the Torah and the Moedim and the Friday sunset to Saturday sunset Sabbath. It's all fucking so upside down. And he assumed, and this is where I'm getting to the story. The reason why this last passage matters, especially when trying to justify violence and trying to justify the assertion of what is right and wrong in a world covered in paganistic heathens, liars, killers, rapists, is to not water down your foundation, because then that is, you're open to criticism. You're not supposed to do it. It says it over and over again. And when the fucking Israelites started to do that shit, really bad catastrophes happened to them. Like going into slavery in fucking Assyria, right? What, Babylon? Babylon. Jeez. It's just, it's a crazy story. And it's later, and then later the Assyrians like conquer the southern two tribes, Benjamin and Judah. Regardless, when you don't fucking follow the Torah, and you start doing schemy shit, and you start doing sun god worship, and doing the way of the pagans, God does not favor that, and then he fucking lets you to your ways, and those ways lead to ruin and sin and fucking death. Okay, because that's what the wages of sin are. Okay, and if you believe in Messiah, he has paid those wages. If you believe in Yahushua, Jesus Christ, he has paid those wages, that debt of your sin. But that does not mean after he's paid your wages that you continue to fucking break his ways that he followed. And literally, Paul says we are supposed to follow in his footsteps. He lived by the Torah. He got circumcised. He followed the Moedim. He followed the Toritical diet. Not the Talmudic, Pharisaical, rabbinical system that we see in Judaism today. Modern Judaism is rabbinical, Pharisaical Judaism. It is the offshoot of the Bible, is Abrahamic religion, but is not the Torah. It is the Torah plus way many volumes of commentary from all these rabbi and all these ridiculous things, where you can't fucking eat meat with cheese. That's not what it says in the Torah, and I've talked about this before, and I'll go more into depth in a deliberate video on that. Needless to say, there's so much misreadings and misunderstandings. Why? We think Jesus Christ himself did not do violence. Okay, let's see if that's true. We're gonna go. This is a huge book, guys. I'm still in the Old Testament. All this is Old Testament. Okay, there's more here still for me to turn to get to the New Testament. Maccabees. Now we're in the Gospels. This is what most Christians read. And they fucking forget all of this. Look how small the fucking print is. They fucking throw all of this out. KJV 1611 had many books that are taken out. Vatican had books that were taken out. Why? I don't know. Not all those books that were taken out were wrong to take out. I'm not saying that either. But let's just say certain books are quoted in the New Testament, and for some reason they're not included in your Old Testament for both Bibles. Both Bible. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so check that out. Look that up. Challenge you. Go ahead. Go find out what that is. Okay, we're looking at the Gospel of John, and I'm looking at John 14:15. No, this is not the one. This is not the one. This is another one. No. It's a different Gospel of John. Okay, here we go. It's John 2:15. Okay, another 15. How quaint. We'll go to that next one and see what that was about. Okay. John 2:15. And when he... Okay, let me just... I'll read a little bit before 2:15. I'll read at 13. And Yahuwah's Pechach, or Passover, right, which the Yahudim observed, Yahudim, that is the apostles, or the Judeans, was at hand. And Yahushua, that's Jesus Christ, went up to Jerusalem, found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and the changers of money sitting. Here it comes. John 2:15. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple. He drove them out, the people, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise. And his Talmudim remembered that it is written, the zeal of your house has eaten me up. Powerful scripture. We could keep going, but we've already covered the important part. Jesus is love. Yah, God, is love. And Jesus cannot sin. Jesus cannot sin. Otherwise, he's not the blemishless, sinless lamb meant to be our Passover sacrifice for the wages of all sin. Ergo, violence is sometimes the answer, and is righteous, and is just, and it includes physical violence toward people. Now, before I get to this one, John 14:15, I actually want to go back and cover Deuteronomy 13. Because I had mentioned it, might as well read it real quick and understand where this is all coming from. If there arises, this is the justification of violence. Understand that this is where it's coming from. Deuteronomy 13. Please read it. This is why, because of false witnesses, Stephen is stoned to death. False witnesses. They made false witnesses because of this command, which is righteous, but was falsely asserted because of a false witness. Okay, the highlight in that is false witness. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spoke unto you, saying, let us go after other Elohim which you have not known, let us serve them. You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahuwah Elohim, the Lord your God, proves you to know whether ye love at Yahuwah Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall walk with after Yahuwah Elohim, and fear him, and guard at his commandments. Guard his commandments. Sounds like something that we're about to read in John 14. And obey his voice, and ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahuwah Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust you out of the way which Yahuwah Elohim commanded you to walk in. So shall you put that evil away from your midst of you. Okay, you put the evil away. You know that evil exists, you put it on away, because God is testing you, right? Look, there's a pattern. Wow, there's like things that I'm saying that actually make sense from the fucking word. Okay? You see how it's come all full circle? That would mean that a person who's teaching about Jesus Christ and the Abrahamic religion and the laws of Moshe, if they take that and then add another prophet that goes against the Torah, then we need to eliminate that. Is there an Abrahamic religion that does something like that? Are there multiple Abrahamic Christian religions that do that? The wrath of God is coming, and I pray that everyone sees videos like this to understand what has really been pulled away from you because of some mainstream poppy non-profit can't disagree with the government organization tax bracket, tax exempt status. Okay, listen, that's not what God would have ever established. Okay, sorry. When it says follow the law of the land, it would mean that it's a righteous and Toritical law, not people telling you to literally do the opposite, which is what the book of Maccabees is about. They literally fought a fucking war leading up to the time of Jesus, and people don't even fucking realize it because some people throw it out while other churches say that it's deuterocanonical, but we don't put it in their Bible. What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean? You don't know. Because Jesus Christ celebrates Hanukkah, and Hanukkah is a tradition started in the book of Maccabees, which is called the Feast of Dedication. Look it up. Look it up. Did Jesus Christ do that? Are you walking in his footsteps? Or are you following a pagan way? This guy fucking telling me that I'm doing pagan stuff? No, I don't do Easter. No, I don't do Christmas. No, I celebrate the Sabbath on the day that it was originally said to be on. Because it's always like, where do you get 7 days a week? 7 days a week? 12 months a year? Where do you get that? Where did that originate? Do everybody just agree that there's 7 days in a fucking week? Oh, we call it Tuesday. Yeah, you call it Tuesday, but there's still 7 fucking days. Where'd you get it? Where did you get that? Tell me. You don't know. Okay, so continuing, if your brother or the son of your mother or your son or your daughter or the woman of your bosom or your friend, which is as your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other Elohim, which you have not known, you nor your fathers, namely of the Elohim of the people which are round about you, nigh unto you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him, not hearken unto him. Neither shall your eye pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones, that he die, because he has sought to thrust you away from Yahuwah Eloheka, the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the house of bondage. And all the Yasharel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. If you shall okay, so first off, putting to death anybody, doesn't matter who the fuck it is, you put them to death if they're trying to take you to another god. Justification for violence. And it says, pity them not. If you shall hear say of one of your cities, which Yahuwah Eloheka has given you there to dwell, saying, certain men of the children of Belial are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn at the inhabitants of their cities, saying, let us go and serve other Elohim, which ye have not known. Then shall you inquire and make search, and ask diligently. And behold, if it be true, if it be truth, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite at the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and at all that is therein, and at the cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword. The cattle, the people, everyone. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn it with fire. And at the city, and at all the spoil thereof, every whit for Yahuwah Eloheka, the Lord your God, and it shall be a heap forever, and it shall never be built again. And there shall cleave naught of the cursed thing to your hand, that Yahuwah may turn the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, and have as he has sworn unto your fathers, when you shall hearken to the voice of Yahuwah Eloheka, the Lord your God, to guard at his commandments, all his commandments which I have commanded you this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahuwah Eloheka. Do you understand, guys? Do you understand how fucking the justification of violence is there? People are serving other gods right now, killing children, sacrificing them, fucking destroying the belief of people where there could be belief in the seed of faith and love of one another, of one's neighbor, one's wife, and one's children, and have hierarchy and order. And it can't be there because people don't even fucking understand what they have right here. the perfect truth. And with Yahushua, Jesus Christ, as our rabbi, as our perfect teacher, letting us know what the fuck is up about the Torah that people are misunderstanding, there's nothing that you can fucking take away from the justice that you need to put out upon rapists, murderers, and fucking idolaters. We're going to end it here with this last reading. John 14:15. Okay? This is Jesus Christ himself speaking. If ye love me, guard at my commandments. Sound familiar? At in everything, which is even rendered in the English, which is there because et. Why? Because there's a pattern that is here in the et sefer that is not in normal Bibles that you're missing. Alpha, Omega, et tav. We'll get to that another day. If ye love me, guard at my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Ruach Ometh, that is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it sees him not, neither knows him. But you know him, for he dwells with you, and he shall be with you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world sees me no more. But ye see me, because I live. Ye shall live also, and that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. He that has my commandments and guards them, direct quote from Old Testament Deuteronomy, it is that loves me, and he that loves me shall be loved by my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. Yehuda said unto him, okay, we'll stop it there. I will let you continue reading John, okay? That's the wet your whistle. But needless to say, from Joshua, literally the same name as Jesus Christ, conquering the Holy Land by the tip of a spear and the point of a sword and the blow of a shofar and his massively underwhelming numbers against massively overwhelming numbers, this small tribe conquers a land and the greater peoples, quote unquote greater, than they, and take it for themselves as their Elohim, Yahuwah Eloheka, had literally said to them. And people don't want to confirm this. People want to be little cucks to this Christian stuff. People want to think that it's about fucking, oh, I'm supposed to forgive and let live and let live. Where is that in the... Justice must be seen. Literally, the origin of live and let live, the official model of Lieberland, live and let live, World War I, a system of conflict avoidance used in trench warfare. Live, let live. It's a Dutch phrase found in ancient law. Merchant, a collection of commercial law. Of course, a merchant wants you to live and let live. Oh, I cheated you and gave you broken, bad merchandise? Oh, just live and let live. We just forgive one another. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible calls for a just God and a righteous judgment. People think, oh, we're not supposed to judge. No, we're supposed to judge righteously. We're not supposed to be hypocrites, and we should take the log out of our own eye before we take the speck out of someone else's. That is, don't be a fucking hypocrite. That doesn't mean don't judge. Judge righteously. Open your mouth, speak righteously, judge righteously. That's literally a quote from the Bible. But instead, we have these cucked live, let live idiom phrases that make us, I don't want to say if it's an idiom, but mottos that push conflict avoidance. Is that what... Did we just read Deuteronomy 13? And it literally says, guard my commandments, and literally, once again, Yahushua was saying the same thing. He's not adding or subtracting. He's literally just confirming. Did it say that we're supposed to avoid conflict? We're supposed to be like, oh, I can't believe he said that. No, but I love him. He's like my friend, as is in my soul. No. You put that away from you. Forever. By stoning them to death. And I'll actually, one more thing that I think that a lot of people will also enjoy, because they'll be like, oh, stoning to death. See, Jesus Christ said, oh, don't stone that woman. Don't stone that woman. Let's look at it, because we're on the subject of stoning, right? I'll have to add stoning to the topic of this title. So here we go. It's John 8. John always seems to have like these interesting stories about Yahushua, and for some reason people are not paying attention to what's going on. They just think they know, but they don't. Let's read. John 8. Yahushua went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Parashim that's the Pharisees, brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they said unto him, Rabbi, this woman was taken into adultery in the very act. Now Moshe in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what say you? Okay, so constantly the Pharisees, the Sadducees were constantly, maximum file size recording a new file. Okay, they think that they can catch Jesus in some like, oh, I fucked this up and I'm gonna catch myself and I'm gonna catch him tripping. Essentially, not Jesus. He's constantly sunning these people. Now let's see what he says here. This they said, tempting him. See the qualifier here? If you just fucking read what's going on. That they said that they might have to accuse him. But Yahushua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself. That is, Jesus Christ got up and stood right in front of these people. A dude that's been a carpenter all his life, probably swole, bro. Okay? No one ever fucking tried to fight Jesus Christ. FYI, no one tried to fucking one-on-one. 1v1 me, bro. No one did that. I mean, how much more would you want to do that in the old world than it is today? 1v1 me. No one wanted to. Maybe because he was a carpenter all his fucking life? Not a skinny rendition of some European queer dude? Continuing. And said unto them, he that is without sin amongst you, okay, sin, he who sin is transgression of the law, let him first cast a stone at her. Okay, who cast the stone first? The witnesses, right? We just saw it in Deuteronomy 13. The person who hears it, pity them not, you do it, right? Where are the witnesses? And again, he stooped down and wrote on the ground, probably from writing the Torah, which not a lot of people could read at the time, and possibly John at the time couldn't read until after Pentecost. You know what I mean? They're just fishermen and normal dudes. You know what I'm saying? And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning with the elders, the person who you take it to at the gate, even unto the last. And Yahushua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Yahushua had lifted himself up and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those your accusers? Where are those your accusers? Has no man condemned you? Is there no witness? She said, No man, Adonai. And Yahushua said unto her, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. No one saw it, but they knew it, and he is holding to the standard of the law. I submit to you that it is not about just, we don't stone people anymore. No, we give people justice. And if there isn't a fucking witness to a crime, how the fuck could you say for sure that that person did it? True or false? The whole idea of 2 or 3 witnesses is a biblical idea. Why do you think there's 3 or 4, 5 writers? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then, whatever, possibly Titus and these other people. Why do you think there's so many different witness accounts? To confirm. What do you think is going on, guys? People are thinking that, this just means we don't stone them. No, it doesn't mean we just don't stone them. It means you need a fucking witness. Hey, person who is without sin, cast the first stone. That is the person who is witness to this. Where are your accusers? Are there none? No, there is none. That's right, because there is none. Jesus sons them all, and then says to the woman, go sin no more. Wait, are we going to say that adultery is okay now? No, we're not. Obviously, what we're saying is that justice is just and our God is just. And I submit to you that there is a justification for violence, and that our God, Jesus Christ in the flesh, and God our Father, and God the Holy Spirit, the Godhead, whatever you like to call it, our Father, definitely puts out in writing that are their definitive reasons for fucking violent assertion of the law. Abraham going out there with 300 dudes at a moment's notice with an army to defeat an actual army that just fought a war? You think that just fucking happens? No, they're trained, they are equipped, they have the equipment, and they win. Do you think that just happens? Abraham's like 60 or 70 when this happens. Old, in shape, still applying the law. The whole warrior spirit of this, the whole justness, righteousness, wanting what is right. It doesn't matter if it sounds good or it doesn't sound good. What is right and what is wrong. Christians think they even have an objective moral code, but it changes with the time and the era depending on where they are from, but they don't actually know that they actually just believe the Torah in its entirety, and if they just knew it, they would be able to. And that I don't hold this against Christians. I'm trying to teach them and warn them that they're being led astray by pagan beliefs and combining shit like that, and that we are mostly in agreement, The 10 Commandments follow, we don't, incest is bad. Fucking animals is bad. Butchering a live animal and cooking it in front of it is bad. Drowning fucking a goat in its own mother's milk is bad. Putting your own children in the fire is bad. That never happened in the Christian religion, but yet it has happened in every other pagan religion. And you want to say that paganism is some type of foundation for our modern society? No. There may be some people who have taken the ways of the pagan, and I hope that they turn from their ways, but that does not change from this basis. Where are your fucking pagan sacrifices, pagans, heathens? Where are your pagan fucking revelries, pagans? You think you're actually pagan? No, you're just fucking an edgelord. People here on BitChute, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of Hotepin, and there's a lot of fucking like, I'm going to be Odin's son. No, you stop watching fucking Vikings on fucking whatever channel and fucking Game of Thrones and read the goddamn Bible, because there are way more better fucking cooler warriors in this book than there are in any of those fucking movies. There's tons of things to learn from the Vikings and etc. I'm not against them. But as a Christian, if you're in the West and you don't fucking know this and you just scoff at it, then maybe it's time to dust it off and read it again. So let me take a moment to collect my thoughts and conclude. The Bible is full of warriors. David was a warrior. He literally carried a giant's sword. Like Cloud Strife. Where do you think that fucking comes from? He killed tens of thousands of people. Samson killed 400 Philistines with the fucking jawbone of a donkey. Shamgar, who has 2 lines in the Bible, but is remembered forever because his name is there in the text. Shamgar killed, all he did was and was sung about an amazing thing done for the people of Israel. He killed 600 Philistines with an ox goad by himself. 600 people. Joshua shares the same name as Jesus Christ, Yahusha, or Yahushua, or Yeshua. He conquered the Promised Land. Abraham was a warrior. Like, what the... Jesus Christ literally said, the day that he died, sell your cloak and buy a sword. And then he said... And then they showed him 2 swords, and he's like, yeah, that's enough. What do you think is going on? Sell your cloak, buy a sword, because all of the fucking apostles were brutally murdered. And it's time you take the words in the Bible and stop letting someone else read it for you, and realize that I feel like a lot of masculine men don't come here because they think that it's this cucked, weak, hippy-dippy lifestyle that it's not. It's just we want to be warriors in a garden, not gardeners in a war. And no one is understanding that. Because they have a misconception. They have been mistaught all these things. But here, we're going to try to fix that. So, there's the justification on there being a lot of warriors and there being direct commandments to do certain things. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I suggest that you do more of your research by reading the Bible. I hope that everything was succinct, and if anyone has any questions, comment below or hit me up on IG, which I'm more likely to do because BitChute doesn't have a notification system for comments. Stay up, stay ready, stay blessed. Shalom. Stay locked and loaded. Stay vigilant. Shalom, peace in. Talk to you guys soon.